For someone who grew up in the early 2000s at the height of the Pokémon craze, it's incredible how little I now care. I didn't play Pokémon Sword and Shield, and likely never will. The last mainline entry I owned was Soul Silver, and shortly after its intro section I got bored and let my brother hijack my save file for the rest of the playthrough. I've been thoroughly unimpressed by Game Freak's handling of the series pretty much forever, though I have fostered an interest in the franchise since my childhood, my experience consisting mostly of spin-off games for Nintendo 64, including Pokémon Snap. But even with that nostalgia, I didn't plan on playing new Pokémon Snap until it was graciously gifted to me, so I guess an unexpected return to the world of Pokémon is in order. This is not a review of any kind, more so an opportunity to touch base with my thoughts on the current state of Pokémon. Ironically enough, the biggest issue with the mainline series is a refusal to evolve their 25-year-old formula to match the ambition of Nintendo's other big franchises. As an adult, I look at the series' deliberate stagnation and get frustrated dreaming about the potential it probably should have reached by now. Pokémon was originally conceived by Satoshi Tajiri to simulate his hobby of bug collecting in the woods near his home, a game concept rooted in a love for nature and appreciation for the creatures that live there. The Game Boy hardware heavily restricted the team's ability to deliver on that premise, but now the games are developed for consoles more than capable of fulfilling Tajiri's vision, and yet every generation of Pokémon has followed the same rigid format, needlessly bound by outdated technology. Despite Game Freak's excuses, there is no sound reason why Pokémon cannot output grand and beautiful role-playing games that do the initial concept justice. When I said new Pokémon Snap was a return to the world of Pokémon, I meant it literally. Both this and the original game's best quality is how they depict the pocket monsters in their natural habitats. Players are given a rare, close, and intimate perspective to observe the Pokemon's behaviors with each other and their environment. Not only that, players interact with them using a handful of tools to elicit certain reactions and emotions. The goal, of course, being to capture all the findings on camera. It is very much akin to a safari, which unsurprisingly is a perfect fit for the source material. Snapping photos of new Pokémon is low-key comparable to catching them in the main games, just a lot more immediate and partially motivated by pure fascination. Photography is only a fraction of the appeal. The game is bursting with graphical polish and detail, achieving a level of immersion that cannot be found in other Pokémon media. Where else can I witness a time-lapse of Bidoof building a dam, watch Torchic sear a fruit for his eating pleasure, or manipulate Pikachu to hatch the legendary Zapdos using electricity? This is what I want and expect from the mainline series, a wondrous experience that highlights the beauty of wildlife through a fantastical, virtual lens. Pokémon Snap is a window into the amazing world of Pokémon, a glimpse of the experience that mainline games refuse to deliver. It's a unique piece of world-building wrapped up in a humble yet impactful adventure, where the Pokémon are free to be their most authentic selves. When I play Pokémon Snap, I don't have to put up with outdated design or mindless RPG gameplay. Most importantly, I don't have to rely on my imagination to believe these creatures could feasibly exist, and for a moment I can remember why this franchise used to mean something to me. The burning passion of that little kid who would draw his favorites and obsess over learning all their names and attributes. I wouldn't say new Pokémon Snap rekindled that fire, more like it blew on the ashes. But after 20+ years of disappointment, I'll take what I can get. So now I offer my vain hope that somehow the mainline series will take notes from this niche photography simulation, because it holds a special ingredient that may just be the spark.